6 degrees centigrade, and of course, humidity is at 85% here in Benin, and it is 19 days to the governorship election in Edo State. My name is Habiba, or Yege, or Yarekwa, welcoming you to the program. This morning we are going to be chatting with another beautiful lady, Mokogwu Osayamen, a lawyer. You're welcome.
Thank you.
I'm going to have to, Osayamen. I'm going to have to read out a bit of resume so that we can get acquainted with where she's been coming from so far. Mokogwu Osayamen has a Bachelor of Arts in Linguistics from the University of Benin and an LLB from the University of Lagos, holding a Master of Law, LLM, focused on commercial law from the University of Benin. She is a certified PPP specialist under the APMG, International Certified Public-Private Partnership Professionals. She is also an alumnus of the Australia African Awards Program for PPP with the University of Queensland, Australia, and the University of Pretoria, South Africa, a member of the prestigious Nigerian Bar. Yame, for short, joined Edo State Government in May 2012 and has more than 8 years' experience handling various roles as a legal executive, with a demonstrated history of working in the government sector as a legal officer, senior special assistant, PPP, and senior special assistant, legal and advisory, PPP. Her transaction advisory services include, but not limited to, stakeholder engagements, value for money analysis, I think I like that, bid design, review and implementation, land acquisition and compensation advisory services, risk management, legal, regulatory and compliance, research and planning, drafting, documentation, partnership and concessions, privatization, public procurement contracts and services. Skilled in legal compliance and regulatory issues, legal document preparations, legal writing and management of PPP projects. She has played key advisory and project champion roles on a number of commercial, contractual, and infrastructure partnerships with the private sector while ensuring international best practices. She has drafted sophisticated agreements on diverse projects such as the PPP agreements, concession agreements, and contractual agreements. As a lead advisor in the PPP office, Yame has successfully negotiated the Uronigbe Rubber Estate projects, Edo State Power Purchase Agreement, the Jara Low-End Shopping Mall, the lease of the Auchi Fertilizer Plant, the Modular Refinery project, the Emotan Garden projects, and of course a whole lot more. The Oil Palm Strategy Committee, the Development Committee, Electrifying Edo Projects, the Agribusiness Development Committee, all are within her purview. And she's currently the lead member of the management of the Uromi Ugboha Water Supply Scheme, a project being handled by Edo State Government and the European Union under the Niger Delta Support Program, NDSP2, and continues to lend support to many other privately financed initiatives in the state. She's presently the Senior Special Assistant, Legal and Advisory Services, PPP Office. Wow.
Thank you.
That was very tall.
Thank you.
You're welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure being here.
Could you just start out with your journey into government?
Wow, that's an emotional question for me, and I'll tell you why. I stumbled into government on a Wednesday afternoon. I had come in to have a meeting to have accompanied my husband to the economic team building for a meeting. As soon as I stepped into that office, it was like a banking hall.
Whose office was it?
Economic team.
Okay.
And as I stepped in, I said to myself, I did like to work here. And I just finished my law school program. So I met someone and I said, if I want to work here, what does it entail? And she said to me, well, you just have to know someone. And by the breadth of the word, it's a glass office. Someone drove in with a Padro. It was a black one. And stepping out of that vehicle was Governor Godwin Obaseki.
What year was this?
This was in 2012.
Okay.
So he was the chairman economic team at the time.
Oh.
He stepped out and he was with some foreign investors. They were clearly not black skinned. And I was wearing a pair of faded jeans and some sleeveless top. If I ever knew that I was going for an interview, I probably would have been dressed like he was a lawyer. So I walked up to him and I said to him, I need to see you. You know, I never knew he was the chairman of the economic team. And he paused, stands, and he says to me, you want to see me, young lady? And I said, yes. He says, I have a meeting, you can see that. When I'm done, I'll see you.
Such confidence.
You know, it wasn't about the confidence, it was that he listened to me.
No, but you had the confidence to approach him.
Yes, because I didn't know who he was.
He wasn't even the governor at that time.
He wasn't even the governor, he was just the chairman of the economic team. And I waited. After the meeting, he came out, he walks up to me and he says, young lady, you want to see me? Come into my office. That was touching for me because if it were somebody else with that political degree, influence, it would have been tough. Probably I couldn't even have been able to assess him. And that's one of the qualities of his governance style today. He's very accessible, very. So he says, so young lady, what can I do for you? I said, this is my CV. He looks at it, a 2-1 in linguistics, a 2-1 in law, best graduating female student at the Nigerian Bar School, law exams for criminal litigation. And he says, who's this? I said, that's me. And he says, so what do you want? I said, I want a job. That was it. So when he said he was going to provide 200,000 jobs for our youths, I believed it. I believed it because he gave me an opportunity. You were reeling out all of these and you said, this is tall. It's tall because someone listened and someone gave me an opportunity. And that's the kind of governor we have. He listens, he sees opportunities, he runs with it. And that's my story coming in.
I can see the emotions.
Yeah, you know, and when I walked into that office, what took my attention was the building. And when the post APC chairman had said the buildings that were renovated in the government house was done by His Excellency, the governor, in conjunction with his committee of friends. It's not a mistake that we have this massive renovations going across government establishments. The ambience, the environment was enough for me to say, I want to work here. And you can't give what you do not have. This was 2012. I'm sure he never thought he was going to be governor at the time or never even thought about it. But you are who you are. And we can see him everywhere across all the sectors of the state. So he's the man I believe in because he gave me a chance. And I know that all the youths who have benefited from the Edo Jobs program, they're going to stand taller.
Good. Now you are who you are.
Yeah.
The SA or Senior Special Assistant on a PPP.
Yeah.
So can you just provide an overview of the extent of the private sector involvement in Edo State economy, in the economy since the coming of Godwin Obaseki as a governor?
Okay, so while working under the previous administration, it was tough for me, and I will tell you, because we did work hard. So, but we could get to a point and was stalled. So the minute I knew that Governor Godwin Obaseki was going to be governor, I was excited. Because for me, all the bottlenecks were going to be out of the way because we had someone who understood private sector language, understood how they relate and what their expectations are, and I told myself we will fly. Under the previous administration, we had the Azura IPP, where at the time negotiating the Uroni Rubber Estate project. And that was the first thing Governor Godwin Obaseki did as he came in. He took out every bottleneck on that project. When I saw the video where the Orion people were talking about the project, how it has improved their lives, how the farmers, I smiled. You know, there's nothing as interesting as when you know the story. And that was my first project. I was the project team lead, as I am now with the Uboha What's His Game project. Yeah. So when I saw it come alive, I told myself, I'm glad I'm here. I'm glad he gave me the opportunity. And I always remind myself of the question he asked me, what do you want? I want to work. and he's been he's a workaholic. I can't even beat that, but that drives me. And having said that, we did the, having crossed into this administration, there are a couple of projects. I can tell you PPPs are not projects that run very fast. You can have many of them, even at the federal level. So we've done quite a bit. We've done the outsider plant.
I was actually coming. I wanted to say, what in your opinion are the 3 most significant private sector-led projects so far? And what are their impacts on the state's economy? Okay,
so Governor Godwin Obaseki had said that he was going to provide 200,000 jobs and agriculture was going to be a mainstay. So you can't talk about agriculture without the inputs, of which fertilizer is one. And so the governor went out seeking for private investment in the fertilizer plant, and that's how WACAT came on board. They came in, set up the equipment, put the factory to work, and it was, I remember when we were negotiating that agreement, Mr. Governor said to me, he said, job creation is key for me. I had to sit back for the first time and develop a local content policy that will be put in the agreement. And that was huge for me. So I understood that this was his vision, bringing the private sector, let's reel out jobs for our young people. And part of what we had in that agreement was that they had to employ our citizens at the low cadre level, close to 100%. And where it comes to managerial level, they give us the right of first refusal. So they must at least go to Edo Jobs. Then Edo Jobs was still young, and tell them the vacancies that are available. And Edo Jobs would provide a skill set, they would interview, and where we can meet it before they can go out. And beyond that, they were also expected to supply inputs first to our farmers before any other. So and our SMEs, if they had subcontracts to give out, they had to get our SMEs involved. So they had to work with the Ministry of Wealth Creation. Okay, we have this contract coming in. What are the SMEs we can deal with? So it's a full value chain. Across all the agencies of government, there's a synergy towards private sector involvement. So for private sector, what are the things that they will look at? They will look at a stable political environment. They will look at security. Look at what Mr. Governor has done with security. He launched the Security Trust Fund. We've seen the Wabai-Zigan Force, and we see what government is doing. He's serious. This is business. This is a business of governance. And once we have security, we have a government that has the willpower, that has the mindset to encourage private sector investment. What's next? We need human resource. And when Mr. Governor visited the technical college, and he said, we're going to develop skills. So every company that sets up in Edo State by private sector means would have to tell us the kind of skill sets that they need, and we would brush our youths to meet up. So it's a lot happening. It's astronomical, to use that word. And I'm proud I'm part of that. And another thing has to do with land. So these are the things that the private sector will look out for once they know there's a stable government environment, once they know that. And it's funny when people talk about MOUs, I laugh, because no serious investor, mark my words, will come in without some form of firm commitment from government.
And that is where the MOU comes in.
We mean business. So if we say we're going to provide this to get your business up and running, we will provide it. And we're ready to be bound by it, put down the papers, and I'll sign.
So how much business activity are we expecting from the private sector?
Wow, quite a lot, quite a lot. It trickles down. So you see, and that's one of the ideas that brought about the production hub. So there are a lot of little contracts that come out of what's happening. The Modular Refinery, a fabrication yard was set up there. Our welders are there. I can't give you in numbers. I wish I could, but it's a lot. It's a lot. We have FarmFort. They came in here on their own volition. We have the 5 Chinese firms who came in here on their own volition. There's a lot of private sector activity going on that this government has fund to fund.
Let's come back to the MOU. Who benefits when this MOU are signed?
government and the private sector. I'll tell you why. Under the previous administration, we had certain private individuals who came with the mindset that, oh, we gigantic, grandiose ideas. And just on a piece of paper for application for land, they got 10,000 hectares, 15,000 hectares, and they're nowhere. And there's no legal agreement to say, if you do not meet this, we would claw back. There's nothing to even say what was agreed, what was discussed. And that's why we say, if you come to us and you say you need this, we don't even give you that much. We tell you you have to do it in the face. You have to have a proof of concept. Maybe we'll start with 2,000 hectares. Maybe we'll start with 1,000. Once you're able to plant in the next couple of months, then we can scale up. So it's serious business. So the kind of things that are in the MOU are obligations for us as government and obligations for the private sector. So as government, we know we're dealing with serious people. Sometimes when you tell them, oh, sit down, those who are not serious.
So you spoke about the modular refinery. So how much government involvement do we have in this Edo modular refinery? Okay, so that's part of the innovations of this administration. We gave a private support of 700 million, that's known, to kickstart that refinery. And for us as government, what was important was this. Modular refineries in Nigeria have been hard. I'm sure they have over 50 licenses given, and you can find the refineries on ground. And so government said, what's the challenge that this is having? And they said, kick off. And he says, okay, I'll do that. I'll put it in, but you must give my people jobs. And you see, that's what led to the MOU with the modular refinery and the EPOMA, Ambuzali University EPOMA, where they have to train our engineers, on-field engineers, on oil and gas related issues. So, and the people we're partnering with is the PCC. They are one of the largest companies in China for modular refineries today. So you can bring in that level of investment and technical know-how from private sector and not have it written. It's not going to happen. So, are you talking as a lawyer now?
Yeah, I'm talking as a lawyer, and I'm talking from experience. So at the end of the day, we also said to them, you must engage our people. They have over 200 jobs coming. They've engaged about 60 workforce today, 200 coming in a couple of weeks as soon as they commission the plant, and that's value addition for us. We will have other things across the value chain, transportation network will boom, and corporate social responsibility. Part of the bad field portions of the Sapler Road was done by them. They didn't need to be told because their MOU says you must have corporate social responsibility activities and we'll hold you accountable for it. So you must also re-engage with the communities. The communities told us.
I was actually coming to that. What about their CSR to the community?
Okay, so that's what we do when we start off any project. We always carry the communities along. So we engage, we've had meetings with the communities and told them these are the benefits that this project will bring on board. I'm sure some of the town hall meetings are usually even aired live. And the communities come out to say, okay, these are the things that we need, these are the things we're looking forward to, and there's a negotiation that happens between the private sector and the community to know what their basic needs are.
Are you able to come to an agreement?
Yes, and we're able to come to an agreement that the private sector would. And they need it because it's the community that hosts you.
They are the hosts.
They are the hosts.
All right, we're chatting with Mokogwu Osayamen. She is the Senior Special Assistant, Legal and Advisory Services of the Public-Private Partnership Office in Government House under the Godwin Obaseki administration. When we come back, we're going to be taking a look at how these investments can be sustained. Stay with us.
Where we are presently now is the Osayamen power plant. The power plant will generate about 55 megawatts. As you can see there, we have two twin buildings with chimney channels on their heads. That is where the engines, where the generators are located, and each have 9 generators or engines each. Right immediately in our front here, that is the gas plant. The generator will be operated using gas. By my left here, this is the valve pit, where the gas is being connected to the NNPC gas pipeline. Those are the 3 major components of the power plants. The names are, that is Nigeria Electricity Management Safety Agencies. They are presently on ground now to certify the power plants and the poles starting from Ologbo here up to Benin City. Presently now they are in the Benin City area. They are the final authority to give the go-ahead. The transformation will be massive, both small scale, medium scale, even large scale industries. They will not have easy raw materials, which is power. We are expecting nothing less than 250 qualified engineers, and some of them are already on the ground. We have people from Benin, we have people even from the Ologbo communities. The engineers, some of them are from Benin, some of them also are from other states. But majority of them are from Edo State here, majority of them. So you can see that it is a very massive and important project in the economy of the state.
August 12th.
You're welcome back to the program. Now, Yame, can you provide insight into the volume of foreign direct investment into the state in the last 3.5 years?
Okay, let me just pick 1 or 2 of our projects and talk about it. The Osayamen power project is one of the brainchild of Mr. Governor, and it's an investment in by the private sector for power. It's about 55 megawatts in the first instance of power, fully privately financed. And we also have the Ugboha water scheme that had us get the European Union to fund it with about 700 million naira to get the distribution and supply networks done. And that was done in partnership with the state government. So it was a counterpart fund. EU brought in about 700 million and the state government brought in about 300 million. And we had a pre-investment by the federal government in the transmission mains, which ran up as high as 3 billion naira. So that's we also have the Jara Mall. It's also a private sector-led initiative. It also comes to FDIs for us. We also have Fort. We have quite a number of them that are private sector-led within the state.
So now, which sector would you say have received the most private sector attention and participation, and how are the youths engaged in these sectors?
Okay, so which sectors? It will be agriculture for me. It will be industrialization.